Hi everybody, this is take two, the joys of technology. I've been doing Facebook Live since 2000 and I have no idea, so many years, and there's always a glitch, right? Just when you don't want it, but thank you for your patience and thank you for tuning in. Now I'm going to operate this myself so that I have control of what's happening. And hopefully the echo has vanished, so let's just wait for everybody to log back in. While Manjula has her chai and I work out what the charcha over the chai is going to be.
Absolutely.
So Manjula, while we wait for everybody, how has your Sunday been so far?
For the past 21 years, my Sunday has always been the same.
Which
work,
is?
Work, work.
But they say all work and no play makes Jill a dull girl. You're anything but dull. And I know you're quite the party person when you decide to be. So yes. I guess it's a matter of prioritizing.
But today was an exception because we had a show last night. And there was a promise made to my daughter that I would take her for shopping and lunch. And so we did that.
Oh, fabulous. And now
before I got here, so
multitasking.
Finished that.
Okay, everybody, let me know if all is well.
Echoing.
Somebody, hi, Ramya. Ramya says there's no echo. Chani says it's better now. Yay! So just pretend you didn't hear any of what I said earlier because we're going to repeat a lot of it. I have put my chai away because there's no way I can
not my chai.
Juggle. You can look after your chai. So everybody, welcome to the first episode of Sydney Social, one of its kind, thought-provoking talk show, where we expose hidden and harsh realities of modern society. Now, these are harsh realities that a lot of people are struggling with, but nobody really wants to talk about these issues, right? Now, through open discussions like the one we're having today and through candid conversations, Sydney Social aims to provide a safe platform to challenge some of these social norms that all of you and all of us are struggling with. Now, what is the goal of Sydney Social? The goal is to promote empathy by creating awareness about some of these issues, and through that to foster a community that values genuine and authentic relationships, genuine and authentic connections and friendships, right? So before we begin, we are going to be talking about the social scene, and here we have with us the wonderful, the one and only Manjula.
So Manjula, one and only, come on.
Of course.
That's a bit too much.
So fabulous. I'm going to read out a quick introduction.
Sure.
So Manjula is the founder of Rasika Dance Academy and Rasika Arts Foundation. This year, 2023, marks 21 years of Rasika being in Australia and also 21 years of Rasika Dance Academy.
Yep.
And 30 plus years of you being in the performing arts.
Correct.
Pretty much, which is quite a stellar journey. Now, we're going to talk about Sydney's social scene, but why not take a little walk back down memory lane? So you were born in?
Born in Chennai, brought up in Bangalore.
So let's talk about
cosmopolitan cities of India.
Absolutely. And now you're in a cosmopolitan city of
Australia.
So tell us a little bit about what you remember of the social scene in Bengaluru before we dive deep into the Sydney social scene.
The beautiful part about Bengaluru is it's got a great mixture of both art, culture, and a very modern living society. So I grew up in a household which had, very broad thinking family. We are very conservative,
yes,
but we also had the great mix of openness to adapting and accepting a lot of things. So from a very young age, I was exposed to both my art side of it, which was my dance, and then I had a long stint in my modeling career for about 8 years before I moved here.
Okay.
So I had a great balance between the two, and I think Bengaluru offers that to a lot of residents there.
So a big shout out to anyone from Bengaluru who is watching in the audience. Let us know if you too stem from that part of India. And let's now move to the Sydney social scene. Okay. Now, I find, Manjula, that in a lot of the social circles that many people are currently operating in, that there is a lot of pretense.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of hypocrisy. Okay. A lot of people are not talking about these issues for whatever reason, maybe because they are uncomfortable topics, but as you all know, I've never really worried about that. And at Sydney Social, we definitely don't fear bringing these things into the spotlight. So a lot of people are struggling with issues like toxic friendships, okay, or fake friendships, or have you heard of the word frenemy?
Absolutely.
So that's an enemy disguised as a friend, right? A lot of frenemies around. People are also struggling with things like they have to deal with judgment. And did you know, Manjula, that there's something called postcode prejudice?
Yep.
Which
it's where you live, right?
Yeah, people are judging people based on the postcode they come from. People are being judged based on what kind of car they're driving, based on what kind of designer or non-designer handbag they're carrying, right? And they are dealing with issues like FOMO, fear of missing out. So there are a lot of problems happening in modern day society. Unfortunately, this has had an impact on many people's mental health.
Definitely.
Many people's mental well-being. And that is a huge problem, and that's why Sydney Social, and that's why you're here with us today to talk about some of these issues.
Yep.
Okay. So I want to ask a question to the audience, and then I'm going to get Manjula to tell us a little bit more about this. So, my dear viewers, have you ever felt misunderstood by your social circle? Have you ever felt falsely judged, as though people have labeled you with tags that have got nothing to do with who you are as a person at the core? Have you ever felt misunderstood by the people around you? You know, Manjula, while I'm waiting for people to comment, I recently met someone and I was telling this person that, you know, I'm going to meet person X. I've got a meeting with this person in a few days. And this other person said to me, oh my goodness, be careful about her. You know, she's known to be this kind of person and she's very aggressive and, you know, it's all about her. So you just watch out. The funny thing, Manjula, when I actually went and spoke to this lady, she was adorable, okay? I really got on well with her. She was nothing that this other person had told me she is. So, I want to find out, has that ever happened to you, Manjula?
Every day, Nim, every day. So, 21 years in Sydney and, you know, being out there in the social circle, I can't keep away from it because my profession demands me to be out there.
Of course.
In and out with people. And I don't have time for what people think about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not then growing. But then you hear back, right, from your close circle or friends you've met who've become friends later. But then initially when they see me, is that I'm pretty headstrong, I'm pretty arrogant, think too much about myself. You know, she's not approachable, she's not easy to talk to. There are tons and millions of things I've heard about myself. But yeah, so I constantly ask myself, is it you know, a problem that because I look like this, I come across like this? I don't have an answer because it's my genetics the way I look.
Yep.
And I'm not here to prove a point to people that this is not me, but this is me.
Yeah.
You want to know me, you make an effort.
Yes.
If I want to know Nim, I have to make an effort to know Nim.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be, you know, judgmental about somebody else. But I constantly hear that I'm unapproachable. Even my parents, they think I'm very strict, even though I'm not.
Yes.
But there's a difference between strictness and discipline.
Yes.
What I'm trying to imbibe in children of my students is discipline, not strictness. So there is constant judgment about me.
Yes.
And
this is from people, I'm guessing, who know very little about Manjula, right?
Yeah, somebody who knows me very close knows how weak at heart I am. I can cry like this.
Yeah.
You come to me with an emotional story, I'll try and help you out. But probably with the way I look, I can't do much. I have to thank God for that. And my parents.
We're going to come to that whole thing about your looks and your journey.
And my parents. There's nothing I can do if that's the way I'm coming across. I'm not going to change myself for you.
Yes, yes.
But if you want to know me, you need to get to know me better before you can make a judgment.
And again, why make a judgment is our question, right?
Correct.
Because let's say you don't know the person and you know only a little. You've had a quick conversation of 5 minutes. Based on that, if somebody is deciding Manjula is A, B, and C. So let's talk about some of the labels that you mentioned. Aggressive. What
Extremely ambitious.
Ambitious. Okay.
Is that a good thing or bad thing? I don't know. To me, being ambitious is great because you need to have ambitions in life to grow.
Yes.
But when somebody tells you that you're extremely ambitious and this is what we feel, it's like, okay, do I take it in the right way or do I take it in the wrong way?
Or do I have to be apologetic for it, right?
Which I'm not going to be, because I am not ambitious today at this age. I've always been ambitious, and this is something my mom has driven in me.
Yes.
Because she's always like that.
Correct.
So it's not going to change overnight.
But also, Manjula, in our society, ambition, and hey viewers, I'm sure you will also resonate with this. Ambition is seen as a bad word. It's seen as a dirty word, right?
To me, ambitious is seen as a bad word if you cannot achieve it. To me, ambitious is good because I'm striving to do something better and better every day.
Yeah.
I tell my daughter one thing is that you've got one life and try to do as much as you can. I don't want to be that 9 to 5 person, get married, have kids, and you've lived your life and gone.
Yes.
Rather, you make a mark of yourself.
Yes.
And that's ambitious.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you're trying to do, and it doesn't matter how you're trying to do it.
Absolutely.
But you need to have an ambition in
life. And that's your own definition of success, right? I'd like to say here that, doing a 9 to 5 job, which many of us do, absolutely fine if that is your definition of success, right? If you want to be a homemaker, more power to you. If you want to be a career person, more power to you.
Being a homemaker isn't easy.
Yeah.
It's a very hard job.
It's a massive responsibility.
To me, ambition, so what I'm trying to say is you're right. Everybody has a different definition of ambition.
Yes.
To me, being a homemaker is a default to most of our ladies.
Yeah.
To me, beyond that is ambition, right?
Yes.
These are things which, we're born as a girl and then our parents want us to get married and then we have kids. This is something which it's a general expectation of life.
Yeah.
But for me, being ambitious is doing something, because if you have a talent, you have to nurture it.
Absolutely.
And you got to put in the hard work to nurture it.
So why do you think, Manjula, you got this tag in the first place, that she's so ambitious? Why? What is it that you do that makes people perceive you as...
I don't know. You have to tell him because you met me.
I've got my answer ready.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I come across like that. Maybe I'm straightforward. Maybe, I've got the drive when I talk to people that makes them feel that I'm very ambitious. Or maybe the way I look. It could be a combination of factors, but I think you should be answering that and not me, because you tell me what you felt about me when you saw me.
So I personally have deep respect for people who have ambitions for themselves, whatever those ambitions may be, right? Having a bit of clarity is always something that I deeply admire. Also, I want people to remember, Manjula, that the pie is big enough for all of us, okay? If somebody is pursuing her talent, it does not mean that the rest of the people don't have the opportunity to carve out their own definition of success as well. So I think a lot of that is also stemming from insecurities, would you say?
Maybe. Yeah. I can't comment on that, but it could be insecurities. Where do insecurities come from when you have tons of time in your hand? If you're going to keep yourself busy and you're going to focus on your ambition, you're going to focus on what you want to do, you don't have time for all these insecurities because you're focusing on yourself.
Absolutely. Imagine if you stopped every time you heard a tag or a label, you would not have Rasika Dance Academy.
I would have run away from Sydney.
Absolutely.
But, how long can you keep running? How long can you
I want to ask
our
audience, has that ever happened to anyone? Does anyone want to share a little story or tell us that yes, that there have been people who have assumed you are a certain kind of person when you are anything but that? So just let us know in the comments, because we want to make this interactive, folks. It's not just me and Manjula. I mean, we love having a chat with each other, but this is also about you participating and telling us some of your insights. So one thing I do want to say, Manjula, that this habit or what is happening currently in our society, that needs to change. Okay? And what are some of the reasons you think people make these kinds of snap judgments? Do you have any idea?
See, I feel if two people are friends and then there's another person trying to get friendly to the other person, how do you stop them? So you try to impose what you think of that person, or you give a wrong perception about that person to the other person. So and it's very wrong for one person to go by other people's judgment or other people's perception until you actually go and make the effort to know the person. And passing a judgment is super easy.
Yes.
It's so easy. You just say it and walk away. But you got to put yourself in other people's shoes and see how they feel if you were, in their shoes.
In their place.
Yeah, in their place.
I've got Purnima who has said something here. People who don't know me have an opinion about me. Those who know me, who I am. Yes.
She's probably trying to say the same thing.
Yes. Purnima, thank you for sharing that. A lot of these opinions do come from people who don't know you very well, which is where the whole thing becomes quite unfair. Because people are making up their minds about someone's personality, someone's reality based on 5 minutes of chit-chat.
Correct.
At a massive event where there are like 100 people, right?
True.
Because, now let's find out. You want to know what I thought of you when I first
Absolutely. I haven't asked you this question till today, so...
It's going to be your turn soon. I'm going to ask you about me as well. So you might as well, right? All of Sydney is watching, maybe all of us, Australia is watching. We've got quite a few people here. So, when I met Manjula for the first time, and I'm not someone who likes people straight away, right? I take my own sweet time liking people, okay? But when I saw Manjula for the first time, it was an instant connect.
Really? Okay.
Instant connect on a soul level, right? Because something about Manjula resonates with me. The way she's always stepped outside, her comfort zone.
Yep.
Always wanted to tap into her own potential. You all know what a big advocate I am about tapping into your own potential and all that. So I genuinely liked you from day one, and I haven't had any reason to change my mind.
Good on you.
And what did you think of me when you first saw me?
I love the way you speak. I love the way you think, and I can connect with you because I feel you're as ambitious as I am, and trying to do something into the society rather than wasting your time.
Yes, we are a mutual admiration society, in case you haven't figured that out. So based on that, before we jump into our next topic, was there anything else you wanted to highlight about this whole labeling people, coming up with assumptions, etc.?
The other new thing which I've just found in the last few weeks is everybody knows me as a dancer, as a teacher.
Yes.
Some do tag me as a mom who pushes my daughter.
Really?
Which I find it very funny because everybody has a child at home, everybody has a teenager at home, and it isn't easy to negotiate terms with a teenager of this current generation. So people do think that I'm imposing and trying to, get Sagarika out there to do things, but that isn't the case. And art and talent is something that has to be within yourself. You can't push and give. It's not a juice where you can pulp it out.
Absolutely.
She's got it in her, and we're just supporting her.
Yes.
And as parents, if I don't do it, my neighbor isn't going to do it.
And look, she looks like a young woman who's passionate about what she's doing. And if
is.
somebody was being forced to do something they don't want to do, and especially teenagers.
But that is a tag, right, that I force her. Saying that apart, in the last few weeks, I've taken on a new role with SCG, which is Sydney Community Group, as the events director. So I got told a couple of days ago, we always thought that you are a traditional Bharatanatyam dancer, and what are you trying to do, doing events? So my answer to them is, event is an event. It doesn't matter what kind of an event.
Yes.
So not many people know my past from Bangalore, where I have, as I said to you, about 8 years of stint in acting and modeling.
Oh, we can't just skim over that. Tell us a little bit about some of the titles she's won.
No.
Come on. This is your chance to toot your own horn.
I haven't spoken about it, but I'll do it.
Yes.
So in 1995, I was Miss Bangalore.
Woohoo!
Thanks to my mom, who probably saw that I was capable of doing this. And 1996, I was Miss India South.
Miss India South, guys, nothing less, right? Miss India South, that's amazing.
Just missed going into Miss India because I was a tiny bit short then.
Their loss.
So, mine too. Did get a lot of opportunities to get into the movie world. Due to circumstances, had to back out. Had a good stint acting for sitcoms as the lead.
Yeah.
Almost 35, 40 sitcoms.
Okay.
Over 100 advertisements down south. So on top of my dancing and studying, which I don't understand with today's generation, that they can't multitask things, but India is even more harder.
Yes.
But I was learned and I was taught how to multitask things, which is why probably I am the person I am today. Thanks to the good parenting.
Yes.
But all that experience, when I got here, I could only focus on one thing because I had to grow my strength, which was my dance, and it took me 21 years.
Wow.
But now that baby has grown,
it's
a decision for me to step up and do something different along with that. And this is where the events thing has come on, and there's a judgment about that as well. So
always a judgment.
Always a judgment about everything. But As I said, I personally feel people who have a lot of time on their hands continue to judge.
Yes.
And when you don't have time, when you keep yourself busy, you just focus on yourself.
Having said that though, friends, I do want to say that like somebody like Manjula, right? You've evolved into a very strong person. So when you face these kinds of judgment or these kind of tags or these labels, right? Somebody of Manjula's personality, maybe at this point in her life and career, she is able to bounce back. But when this kind of snap judgments impacts people who are less confident, who are still finding themselves, it can have a massive impact on their mental well-being.
I wouldn't say that it doesn't affect me, Nim. We're all humans, we're all filled with the same hormones. And as a woman, we have more estrogen than the men do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I have two choices. Either I sit and whinge and cry about it and feel sympathetic about my own self, or I get up. It's okay to cry. I think you should.
Yes.
Cry to yourself and cry to somebody who you can trust, which is a rare thing. Who to trust is the other question.
Very important.
Sometimes you can't tell your own family because they get hurt, they get upset. You don't want them to be part of your feelings. So I do talk a lot to myself. So I've learned over the years to talk to myself in the night.
Okay.
What happens during the day and how I feel and what should I do if it's me or is it them. Either way, hurt is a hurt, right? But then, as I said, there's two options. One, whinge and cry about it and feel sympathetic for yourself, which I think is a disease. Or get up, it's happened to you, you've been hurt or the other person's been hurt, and just move on.
Yes.
If you're going to let it affect you, you're going to lose your mental, sanity in life. And that's a long-term impact on our health as well.
Absolutely.
And mental well-being is extremely important than anything else. So this is a lesson which I have learned and life has taught me. It's not that I was born like this. You evolve every day. Everybody teaches you a lesson every day, right?
Yes.
It's up to us to take it.
Absolutely.
It's not worth it. Nobody is worth your peace of mind. There are a few people who are very close to you who do hurt you, but I'm sure if they really love you and they really like you, they wouldn't hurt you.
That's true.
So they are the closest ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to talk about this habit of passing judgment, remember that famous Kishore Kumar song? Kuch to log kahenge. Logon ka kaam hai kehna, right?
If there is a mouth, the mouth is going to talk.
Absolutely. So let them talk. Don't let those labels, don't let those false tags stop you in your tracks, right? Because you just have to keep focusing on the path ahead. Okay? Now, Manjula, there's another interesting thing that's happening in our society, which I wanted to bring into the spotlight. Okay? And I'm going to let you give us an example.
Okay.
This is about big events where we have performers, okay? So it could be me giving a talk, it could be you giving a dance performance, it could be somebody giving a speech, a song, whatever it is. We've got performers on stage, okay?
Yeah.
And what's happening in the audience? No prizes for guessing. Selfies. Little groups taking selfies, or else they are chit-chatting amongst themselves.
Yep.
And not really paying attention to the person on stage, okay? A person who's put their blood, sweat and toil into that performance. Has that ever happened to you as the founder of Rasika Dance Academy?
Less than 24 hours last evening's concert.
We've got a real life example coming up.
Absolutely. So I had my students' concert last evening, a debut of 2 young girls, and it was a fully packed house. And in between, when the MCs were on stage, I could constantly hear, families talking. There's a lot of kids, there's a lot of disturbance. If you're in our shoes as a performer, it is very annoying because you're trying to focus, you're trying to do things, and here there is this commotion from the audience. So I did take up the guts to say, could you kindly maintain silence once, twice, thrice? And I don't want to be a mom there. I think it's just common sense for people to maintain.
So did you have to pause some of those performances and
it was in between the performance, so I took a moment to say that. I could have come across that, why is she being so nasty? But if I didn't say that, not that it made an impact, people continue to talk. But if I didn't say that, who else could say it? So, and selfies, when you're talking about selfies, this constant people photographing and videoing when a concert is happening. It could be dance, music, poetry, anything, right? You're actually missing out on the moment. You're trying to video and photo and you're looking into your camera lens, but you're missing out the live moment.
Yes.
And nowadays we have live links of events which you could watch later or record later. I don't mind a selfie, if you have a skill to flaunt.
Yeah.
That's my personal belief. If you're just there to show your outfit and just being part of the crowd and you're just coming there for attendance, nobody can stop anybody. It's up to them to take a selfie. But me personally, I feel that if you have something to flaunt, your skill, your talent, and you've worked for it, it is good out there because the social media, most of them are free.
Yeah.
And that's a great way of marketing.
Yeah.
But not just to show your outfit and, I was with this person and I've attended this X amount of events.
It's also very distracting though for a performer, right? Because you can tell there's a little group standing in a corner taking one selfie, 2 selfies, 22 selfies later. There really is no difference in all the selfies taken. Plus it's disrespect for performers, right?
During the performance, yes.
Yeah,
but after is perfectly fine.
Go for it.
And I think selfies are okay because there's a lot of us sitting at homes doing nothing and this is pure entertainment.
Yeah.
That's how I look at social media, is like it's pure entertainment, free.
It's a boon and it's a curse. So yes,
it's how you take it.
To reiterate Manjula's point, while a performer is performing, it is only a mark of respect for us to actually sit and pay attention and give them the respect they deserve, and there's going to be ample time afterwards.
And it's also the purpose, right?
Yeah.
What are you there for?
Yeah.
You're there for either your friend or you're there as a family, you're there to support somebody. So fulfill the purpose rather than, being on your phone or checking your messages.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace to the artist when they're performing to be on the phone.
Absolutely. And also this obsession with selfies, Manjula, I think because of that, the culture currently where we are obsessed with posing for selfies, and nothing wrong with that, what's actually taken a backseat is meaningful conversation.
Correct.
Right? So I've been at events where I'm trying to have a meaningful conversation, but a lot of people are focused on their selfie. So you walk away feeling that everything was a little bit superficial. Right? You may meet some amazing people at these events. Why not pick their minds and get to learn about their journeys and maybe have a photo or two? I love photos. I love selfies.
We all love photos. We all love taking photos.
Absolutely. We're going to post for one after this and we're going to post it. But moral of the story is, how many selfies are enough?
Yeah.
Right? And while
it's a hard thing to put a number, but the only thing is, I think everything has its time and everything has to be done at a particular time.
Absolutely.
There is this before and after of an event where you can go and socialize, take a selfie. There's no harm. Yes. There's no number. You can't put a number in it. Yes. It's up to a person and probably how much your phone can take.
Yes.
Right? But to me, it's when it should be done.
Yes.
And flaunt things on social media if you've got the talent. And if you've got the potential, because that's what the media is there for. Media is a form of entertainment. It can be anything, and it's for you to show yourself who you are.
Yeah.
And not everybody has the money to go to a marketing company and employ somebody to put things out there.
Yeah.
So when there's free space available, do it. But please do it if you can flaunt your talent.
Yes, I agree.
Showing your outfit isn't a talent.
Okay, lastly, before we wrap up, there's one more topic that I can't let Manjula go home without addressing. So, Manjula, as a performer in our modern day society, me as a service entrepreneur as well, I have found that there is a general expectation to hire people, performers, speakers, and not pay them. Okay, so they are expected to perform at no cost.
Yep.
Which, if you're starting out, I suppose, in your journey and you're still building a brand, maybe a lot of people are okay with that. But when you reach a certain level and you've invested that time and effort to build your brand, to still expect to call them and give a performance and not actually acknowledge them with any form of payment, I think is also something that's happening in our society. So do you have anything that you want to add to that?
I would agree with you. 21 years in Sydney, and I've got another few more years from India. There are organizations who still approach us for free performances, majority of them. And they think they're doing us a favor by giving us a platform to come and show our skills. What they fail to understand is that if they're coming to me, that means they know the quality of my performance, which means it comes with a price tag. right? Whether it's a 5-minute or an hour performance, it takes exactly the same hours to get ready, the same number of practices, rehearsals. And most of these organizations do charge a ticket.
Yes.
Or they get a funding. Nobody can do it free. It's impossible to hire a space and, feed people. So when there is that ticket component of X amount of dollars, I think you should put away a certain amount to an artist. And by doing that, you gain respect, you actually get good quality performances. But I think where the problem lies is whether it's quality or no quality, it's just a performance to people.
Yes.
Right? I think organizations should start respecting artists where there's good quality.
Yes.
And if you want your performance to stand on that level, you need to have the quality performances, which means it comes with a price tag.
Yeah.
But this can only be resolved by two things. One is community of artists coming together and we all stand with the same principles, which isn't happening. There's different levels with different performers because they want an opportunity, they want a chance. But if we all sing the same song, it could take time, but it will resolve.
For sure.
Secondly, the organizers themselves, profit making is important, but profit sharing is also important.
Yes.
And you cannot have you can't have an event without a performance, right?
Yes.
And
if you want a good performance, then there's no
it
free
comes,
dinners.
It comes. Nothing is free.
Nothing is free.
Nothing is free.
And look, artists have, whether they're speakers, they're dancers, they're singers, if you want a performance and you want something that wows your audience,
correct,
it's only fair that we give them their due and pay them their due. I always like to give this example of Lata Mangeshkar, who in her heyday used to charge a bomb for her songs.
But let me stop you here, Nim. I have to say that with our Indian diaspora, right, the demand for movies, the demand for cricketers, the demand for politicians, or the demand for food is so high and important compared to culturally talented artists like myself.
Yes.
So I always tell my mom, I regret that I didn't act in 10 movies. Doesn't matter if it was a flop. They would have treated me as a movie star, come dancer, and my demands would have been different compared to just being a dancer. Because I think the medium of movies, the medium of entertainment is so powerful.
Yeah.
Especially with the Indian diaspora. They treat them as gods. They treat cricketers as gods.
So do you think that there is a movie there that might happen in the near future where...
At this age? Are you kidding me?
Why not?
No.
Why not?
I don't know if somebody is watching me for a mummy
there
role.
There you go. Mummy role, no. So if there's any film directors who think, you want it for the main protagonist, we've got Manjula who's definitely open to it. So guys, we're going to wrap up with a quick rapid fire round just to end on a fun note. Sorry, the comments were coming so fast. I haven't had a chance, but we'll read them later and definitely respond. So Manjula, are you ready for a
Absolutely.
rapid
I love
fire?
it. I'm rapid, remember?
All right, so we'll start with something simple.
Go for it.
Tea or coffee?
24/7 masala chai.
Okay, I'm still going to keep her on my Diwali card list and on my Christmas card list.
Anytime.
Because I'm a coffee lover and I usually won't send a card to a tea
love
lover.
my tea.
But Manjula's there. You're there for life.
Masala chai, remember that.
So how many are tea lovers? Let us know in the comments. And how many are coffee lovers like me? Put that in the comments as well. Okay, next question, Manjula. Stilettos or flats?
Both based on my outfit. Luckily, I'm not too short, so got a decent height.
Yeah. Got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because she's a girl from Bengaluru, let's find out. Masala dosa or idli vada?
Never idli, masala dosa.
Yay!
My mom makes 24/7 idli that we have an aversion to idli. I love masala dosa anytime. That's Bangalore's favorite.
Absolutely. Now tell us, what is an ideal weekend according to you?
An ideal weekend that I would have preferred is sit in front of the beach, put some lovely music on, have some nice food and just relax. But 21 years that hasn't happened. All I've done is work, work and work. So
wow.
I'm hoping one day that I get my ideal weekend and I pray that it happens.
We live in hope.
We live in hope, yes.
And lastly, 3 words to describe yourself.
Hard work, hard work, hard work. There's no shortcut to success.
No.
And I completely believe that commitment, hard work, sincerity, devotion, can take you places.
So 3 words for Manjula: commitment, dedication, and hard work. right? So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Facebook. We will be bringing you more such exciting episodes in the upcoming weeks with more guest speakers to explore a lot of stuff that is happening currently in modern day society in Sydney, like we did with Manjula. So Manjula, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nim.
Despite your busy schedule, she's made her time, and I'm so thrilled to have you as my first guest.
And it's an honor for me to be your first guest. I'm so thankful that you've had me here. Hope I made it pretty interesting with all the audience.
Amazing, and there's lots of lovely comments that. Oh, there we go. There is Ramya saying, "Well done, ladies! Yay!" Thank you, and sorry if I haven't replied to anyone on the chat. Both Manjula and I will go through the comments later, and we will definitely write
any
back.
Questions?
Yes, by all means. So hopefully you've enjoyed the first episode of Sydney Social, where we expose the harsh and hidden realities of modern society. So stay in touch, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.